Let's dive right into this explainer because today we are unpacking a true crime corporate mystery. We're going to dissect a situation where a completely mundane, everyday office misstep mutated into a full-blown company-wide emergency. It's a really fascinating and frankly hilarious look at what happens when a simple technical hiccup collides head-on with absolute bureaucratic dysfunction.
So, what actually happens when a digital door slams shut and the one person holding the key just outright refuses to look? That question is exactly what we're tackling today. Imagine being locked out of your own office. You're slipping notes under the door, you're sliding clear 8x10 photographs of the locked handle under the frame, and the building manager, they just walk right past you without a second glance. That is exactly what happened here, just, in the digital realm.
To truly understand the stakes, we've got to define the scene of the crime. Let's talk about the dispatcher. Stripping away all the boring technical jargon, it is simply the central digital gateway. It's the application that connects users to the main filing room so they can manage their clearances. Without it, the staff literally cannot do their daily jobs. It's the front door to their digital workspace. And on Monday, April 27th, 2026, bam, that door inexplicably locks shut. Now, picture the environment where this whole saga unfolds. Think of a workspace plagued by this blinding window glare, dense rows of soul-crushing cubicles, all overseen by an executive loft suite. Operating up in that loft is the pointy-haired manager, or the PHM. She is the undisputed architect of the office's misery. When the dispatcher broke, all those urgent help tickets were assigned directly to her. And from her loft, her grand strategy was to do absolutely nothing. The cries for help just vanished into the void of upper management.
Enter our exhausted, totally logical hero, Chevron. He's a highly competent, incredibly hardworking mid-level developer who carries a massive workload with absolutely zero recognition. He's usually the target of management's weird gaslighting and bizarre bureaucratic traps. And unfortunately for Chevron, he's about to be dragged away from his actual work and pulled right into the center of a deeply absurd reality engineered by the PHM.
The sheer passage of time here is wild when you look at how the evidence mounts. On Monday, the very first user gets locked out and submits a ticket. Okay, simple enough. But from Tuesday through Friday, the problem aggressively spreads. More users locked out, way more tickets submitted, and from the PHM's desk, absolute total silence. It isn't until Saturday that management suddenly wakes up, and by the next week, the entire mess is just unceremoniously dumped onto Chevron's lap. Let's actually look a bit closer at those silent midweek days, because as the week dragged on, the users didn't just complain, they left a pristine, undeniable trail of evidence. They submitted crystal clear screenshots of their frozen screens. But they didn't even stop there. Multiple users actually went out of their way to record high-definition videos showing the exact software lockout happening in real time. They essentially handed management a silver platter of diagnostic evidence, all assigned to the PHM and all completely ignored. So with all that undeniable proof, guess what the total number of actions the pointy-haired manager took to investigate during the regular work week was? 0. A big, fat 0. Despite having the tickets, the screenshots, and literal video evidence of the gateway failing, she did not lift a single finger from Monday through Friday. But wait, because here comes the plot twist. Out of nowhere, on Saturday, May 2nd, the manager suddenly declares a massive, all-hands-on-deck emergency. Yep, an issue she had actively ignored for 5 straight workdays was suddenly the most critical burning crisis in the entire agency. From her weekend desk, she fires off an urgent email to Chevron, demanding he hurry up and fix the exact issue she'd been sitting on. It was a completely 100% manufactured panic. Come Monday, May 4th, the ticket is officially reassigned to Chevron. Management has effectively washed its hands of the delay and just magically shifted all the blame and pressure directly onto him. But the PHN doesn't just want Chevron to go in and fix it. No, that would be way too efficient. Instead, she schedules a mandatory ultra-urgent meeting for the very next day with all the locked-out users to, quote, discuss the issue. Now, Chevron, being a creature of actual logic, immediately points out the glaring flaw in this whole plan. He utters this incredible, totally exasperated line, "I do not need a virtual meeting just to watch people watching videos that they made themselves." I mean, he hit the nail on the head. He had already seen the videos. The evidence was attached to the tickets days ago. But in a corporate void, logic doesn't really matter. The meeting was mandatory. And that brings us to the absolute peak of our absurdity, the watch party. Step 1, force a weary developer and frustrated users into a virtual room.
Step 2, make the users share their screens. Step 3, literally watch in real time as the users press play on the exact same videos they recorded and submitted nearly a week prior. And Step 4, sit in agonizing, redundant silence. This whole charade stretched out the timeline, creating an entirely unnecessary meeting where time just stood still, serving absolutely no purpose other than the manager's illusion of taking action. Finally, after surviving the psychological torture of the watch party, Chevron gets to work. And you know what? The resolution is hilariously anticlimactic. He investigates the issue, quickly realizes the application just created a temporary file that got stuck, and he deletes it. He deletes the locking file. That's the whole shebang. He walked over to the digital gateway and removed the stuck lock. This massive, week-long, panic-inducing emergency was fixed with a couple of keystrokes. This really reveals the ultimate takeaway of this entire disaster. On one hand, you have 9 whole days of pure bureaucratic failure, a manager ignoring tickets, a totally manufactured Saturday panic, and a deeply painful watch party. And on the other hand, you have the few seconds it actually took a logical developer to delete a file and open the digital door. The entire massive emergency was just an illusion created by terrible management. Which leaves us with this kind of funny but very real question about surviving in corporate bureaucracy. If a problem is easily solved, does it really even count if management doesn't schedule an agonizing meeting to take credit for investigating it? The dispatcher incident isn't just about some broken software tool. It's honestly the perfect satirical mirror reflecting how office dysfunction creates its own chaotic gravity. It for sure makes you wonder what bizarre, ego-driven management decision will strike next. Thanks for joining this explainer. We'll see you next time.